Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I hope y'all enjoyed my last video on Elytra Mace PvP, me going more in depth into that than my first Mace guide. Glad y'all liked it, hope it was a great help to y'all. And as I said, I will be making a spear guide for mainly controller players on Minecraft Bedrock Edition. So if you're playing on Nintendo Switch, Xbox, or PlayStation, this is definitely going to be the guide video for you for using the spear. But if you're not playing on Bedrock, and most especially if you're not using a controller or anything like that, this may not be the guide video for you, because I'm just not going to, cover everything that you may need if you're using a keyboard and mouse. There could be little tips and tricks there with the keyboard. I don't know them. I've never used the keyboard for Elytra Mace PvP or the spear, but I've been practicing with it. That is with the spear. And I hope this video is a good help to you. I'm going to cover anything and everything I can that I know about it in the videos I've seen on it. And hopefully it's entertaining. Hopefully it's helpful. Again, so yeah, y'all enjoy. Alrighty guys, I am back. First, I'm going to start off talking about all the different elements of spears that you can have. I'm not going to go into a massive amount of detail, as a lot of videos have been made on spears now, a lot of coverage on this, so I'm not going to be going into how to craft it. In short, you craft it just like a shovel, you just arrange things differently. The cool thing about Bedrock Edition is it just gives you the recipe when you have a crafting table. So I'm not going to bother with that, but first of all, we have, of course, the wooden spear, got the stone spear, copper spear, the iron spear, the golden spear, the diamond spear, and finally the netherite spear. Of course, they reworked diamond, so it only does 1+ attack damage, which is literally the same as a wooden spear. Stone spear does the same damage as that of copper. Iron spear, that does the third most amount of damage. Diamond spear, the second most. And then, of course, as you would expect, the best is the netherite spear. The main spear that we're going to be talking about is the netherite spear with PvP mostly in mind here, right? And I'm going to be talking about the different ways how you can use a spear, how to use a spear, and how to properly elytra spear. Instead of elytra macing, elytra spearing, I guess, is what you would call that. But anyways, without any further ado, we're going to jump right in. Alrighty guys, we're going to go right into the combat stats of the spear, how it really works, what makes it so utterly unique amongst every single other weapon in the game, besides the mace in certain ways, the ability to do some crazy elytra attacks with it. So first of all, there's really two attacks with the spear. There's the jab ability, so you can see the bottom right corner there. Use the right trigger button on your controller, and this is the jab button, so you can see it has a really big cooldown, and it doesn't do a lot of damage. Here you can see my netherite spear has these enchantments on it. We'll talk about enchantments in a bit, but basically it does a lot less damage than a sword. A sword is going to do a lot more damage. The netherite sword, a lot more than a netherite spear. It's just the way it is. Spear is not exactly high damage with the jab ability. And this stat right here, 11+% attack damage, is for the jab. As you can see, if I were to place a zombie here, oh, I forgot, it's daylight. He's going to die. But that's how it works. But as you can see, here's the netherite sword doing it's doing plus 8% attack damage. The spear, netherite spear equivalent, only 5+% attack damage, so a lot less. All right, so now I'm going to show y'all what it looks like against mobs. All right, so here's the Iron Golem. We got here. This is the jab ability. It's, very slow. See, I have fire aspect on this. That's how long it's going to take. It's not very fast. But one real advantage with the spear over the sword that you're really going to find is its range. It has a very long range indeed. So if I were to place the Iron Golem in here, my sword cannot, let me back up a little bit. So my sword cannot hit him, but now I can hit him with the spear. You're not winning a fight with that. The real cool thing about the spear is the charge ability, which you do with the opposite trigger button. So the left one, on PlayStation, it's L2. Charge button, at first I was super confused, like, what am I doing? Like, I thought, why am I unable to attack? Why does it just cancel when I let go of it? Well, I'm going to explain that in a bit. So basically what you do is you charge towards them and you hit. But wait, why isn't it hitting him? And this confused me as well. Why isn't it doing anything? And if I tried to hit, nothing happens. So you have to sprint and gain speed. And that is really where it comes in. So you got to sprint, and you can do a ton of damage in this way. And basically, the longer you hold your spear, the more damage it will do. So you just burn to death. You probably know the faster you move while using the charge, the more damage you do. Well, yes, that assumption is completely valid. And this is where I'm going to go into the different tactics that you can use to go as fast as you can while charging to do as much damage as you possibly can. Our first main really cool method that you can implement to do a lot of damage while charging with the spear, a lot better than just sprinting on the ground. Of course, running on a horse is one of the faster modes of travel that you can do in the game. And while you're using the charge attack, that's going to do a lot, and we're going to implement that on this golem. So we're going to see if we can try to kill him in a shorter span and amount of time. We hit him there. Charge! Boom. So yeah, we got him. It was a bit faster than just plainly running towards him on foot while sprinting. So now onto our final attack ability that you can really do with the spear besides running, sprinting while charging the spear, and besides riding on a horse while charging the spear, and how you can really do that against players, what that looks like. But this is without a doubt the best way to Elytra mace with a spear. Not Elytra mace, Elytra spear.
It was at this moment he knew. He messed up.
Effective way to do it. You can do a ton of damage if you implement it correctly, and I'm going to show you all how to do it and what I learned not to do if you're doing it. So yeah, we'll jump right in. I'll just show y'all what not to do, and then we'll go into what you should do and just how much damage you can really do. Now, I do have this particular spear. Sharpness 5, Unbreaking 3, Mending, and Fire Aspect 2. So it's going to vary spear to spear, enchant to enchant. If you don't have Sharpness 5 or Fire Aspect 2, you're not going to do nearly as much damage at all than this. So basically what you don't do is what you would typically do with a mace. You don't come down and then try to get him. So basically you would fly down and charge a spear. You don't want to go down like that. That'll kill you. That's one thing not to do. You do not want to dive down and miss, because you'll meet the same fate as you would if you had a Elytra mace. Even if you hit them, so I'm going to try to do that. I missed. I'll try again. Okay. Even if you hit him, so you can see I hit him, he's burning. Hit him, just like with a mace, but you don't have wind burst. You hit a target with a mace, you immediately bounce up, right? And you don't have time to hit the ground, even after you've hit them, because the wind burst brings you back up. Well, there is no such thing as wind burst on a spear. With a spear, you can only use sword enchants. Any enchant you have ever put on a sword, it will be able to go on a spear, but you can't put wind burst on a spear, sadly. So that is the one little handicap. So what you have to do is your approach has to be completely different. You can't go vertical. It has to be basically horizontal. And this is kind of what it's going to look like. So you can see I came in from the side horizontally, and then I hit him, and then finished him off. You have to do that. Now that's really hard to do with a mace because of the timing and such. So you see I just missed him there. Try to get him again. But you got to really come in from the side, from a horizontal angle. And then and only then are you going to really be able to get him and then finish him off. But again, just like with Elytra Mace PvP, this is going to take a little bit of practice. Obviously, it's not even half as difficult as Elytra Macing, as y'all saw. And if you haven't already, I suggest please see my last video on Elytra Macing. You have to, with that, you Elytra down, then take off your Elytra in exchange for your chest plate, and then you quickly switch to the mace, then you hit your target. And if you have wind burst, you'll just bounce right up after you hit them. That's super hard to do because there's a lot of things going on, no matter what you're playing on. With a controller or on a keyboard, that's really difficult to do. And as for mobile, I don't even know how difficult that could be. With a spear, however, and I digress, okay, with a spear, it's going to be a lot easier because you're just holding the button as you're going through the air and then you hit them. There's no, I need to, quickly bump over here and quickly do something. No, it's just, it kind of does the rest. It's all about setting yourself up in a position to hit them as you're flying mid-flight. I'm going to show you all a slow-mo action of this, and then we'll wrap up this video. A lot of people have been saying, and this is going to be my opinion, a lot of people have been saying that it is Minecraft's new strongest weapon. I am partial to this. I can understand where they're coming from. I'm still kind of on the side that the mace is the best. The mace is really kind of the weapon. Really, just with the mace, you can do a massive amount of damage. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, that's a one-tap. I was able to one-tap that iron golem. But, with spear, you're not really necessarily going to be able to one-tap. That's a lot of damage. I'll try to show y'all, again in comparison. That's a 2-shot for the Iron Golem. Then, for the mace, that's a 1-tap. And I didn't even fully do that right. Try to do that again. That's a 1-tap. So, again, my opinion on which weapon is objectively better, it's just going to depend on playstyle. On the ground, the spear is more versatile, like on horseback. Even while sprinting, you can take some mobs out. But, the mace will always do a lot more damage. It will 1-tap an Iron Golem, at least this specific mace that I have with these enchants for each 4. And then the spear, will 2-tap an Iron Golem, for example, an Iron Golem, with sharpness 5. So both are really some of the best enchants for both weapons, and the mace is still going to do more. 1-tap a golem, spear will 2-tap. So it's going to take longer to destroy something with a spear. That's just the way it is. But I think people say this because it's just more user-friendly, and more people are going to be able to pick up using a spear. Doing those dive bomb attacks, it's going to be a lot easier than it will be dive bombing people while Elytra macing. There's more of a process to the mace than with the spear. But, yeah. Well, I do hope that y'all enjoyed this video. Hope this was just a good help to y'all in learning how to master and use the mace yourself. Minecraft Bedrock Edition. If this was any help to y'all, please do leave a like if you want to, and subscribe to the channel. Want to keep making more content like this in the future. I may not make Minecraft in a little bit. Kind of running out of ideas basically, but if I did anything else, it would probably be maybe UHC again. But yeah. But just to top this all off, y'all just have a great day, and God bless.